Hello Barmy Badger Army, hope you're all well guys. Welcome to today's show. Today we're going to do another Netflix recommendation and I thought it would be a good one for you guys. It's a series that was on terrestrial TV called Whitechapel, all about different types of supernatural and different mysteries. Now this one was really interesting the way it worked because it was a straight-laced cop, traditional cop, going into a really weird situation, and then they had a hierarchy. They had a new boss coming in, and it was a really interesting dynamic, especially in the first series, how you had a new higher up coming in, trying to clean up a ragtag team of drunken fast food eating cops, and then they had to try and solve the mystery of the new Jack the Ripper, the craze, and many other different mysteries. Now, this is the sort of thing that really grabbed my attention. I was like, I could really get into this, but I wasn't sure if the boss would be into it. But funnily enough, she got there eventually and she was really interested. But it did take a bit of going. It did take some talking about her with. And as I'm quite interested in supernatural horror stuff and the Jack Ripper mythos, and everyone talks about the craze in Essex and things like that, and London, so that was really interested as it being like a local thing. I thought, why not give it a go? It's got some interesting things. It had some links to local locations, Whitechapel, London, Essex, Southend, all that sort of thing. So I thought, why not give it a little bit of a look? And it was well worth it. The missus was really interested in it. With the boss, she takes a bit of time. She has to watch a couple of episodes, but then she was really interested in it after a while. And I think it's a really good dynamic in the show. It reminds me of like Criminal Minds, but has more of a supernatural element. Now, this is the interesting thing about the show, is that the supernatural element comes in about the third season. I'm not trying not to give spoilers, so please bear with me. The first two seasons are about Jack the Ripper and the craze, and then the third season and the fourth season have more of a supernatural element, and I think that's really good, and you see a really interesting development of the show. So if you're interested in serial killers and Essex and local London mythology, and then you're interested in supernatural and witches and things like that, I think it's really interesting. And I'm trying not to give spoilers away, but it involves cannibals and all sorts of really weird, interesting topics. And there's some great stuff about apothecary, homemade medicines, what could go wrong, all this sort of stuff. Really interesting. And I wanted to also talk about the dynamic, a bit more about the dynamic of the cops, because like I said, there's all these different people that come in. There's a fresh-faced cop that's serious, has a ragtag team. You can imagine there's lots of comedy and lots of weird and wonderful scenarios. But after a little while, especially after the first season, you get to see a bit more of their home lives, a bit more of the way they were if they were real people. And I think that's great. When you see a series that has really serious overtones, but then you get to see the other people wear a different side to them when they're with their families, I think it's great. So would I say definitely watch Whitechapel? I definitely would say that it's well worth a look. If you haven't seen this show before, it's quite spooky. Don't watch it in the evenings. Some of the episodes will really shock you. Some are quite, not light-hearted, but obviously generic crime. But this, sometimes it would really get to you. Like, we usually try to watch it early evening. I certainly didn't watch it before bed. It's quite spooky. So I would definitely say the dynamics of the characters, the spookiness factor, the scary serial killers, and all these sorts of things make it well worth watching. And do I want a fifth season? Hell yes, I would absolutely adore it. Now, the actors left it on a cliffhanger, and we want it resolved. And I want to see if enough people can watch it again. If we get a big audience in this show, will Netflix pick it up and make a special episode to round it off? It's happened before with other shows, so it'd be great if this happens. I think it'd be fantastic to see what they were building up on completed, and I think they could do it in a couple of special episodes, so it'd be great. There's a final mystery at the end that sort of gets resolved, but they touch upon it, but they never really act upon it. So it does round it off, but there's plenty of room for more. So Netflix, if you're listening, please, please, please make more Whitechapel. It would be great to see a really cool end of the show. I would definitely recommend this show. It's well worth a look. If you're interested in local stuff, or if you're interested in supernatural and mysteries, it's well worth a look. Please do check it out, and please do get Netflix to write a new episodes or commission more episodes, because it would be great to have this picked up. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.